The cryptocurrency markets have been a bit rocky recently, but in this video, I want to share with you 4 different charts that paint a very bullish picture for Bitcoin and why you may want to be paying attention to the markets right now. My name's Lark. Every day I make videos talking about cryptocurrency investing, so if that's a topic that you would like to learn some more about, then make sure that you subscribe to the channel, gently tap on the thumbs up button, just for the YouTube algorithm of course, and click on the notification bell to know when I put out a new video. So let's go ahead and just get straight into the charts. And let's start off today by talking about the bullish divergence, which is currently forming up on the RSI. So how do we get a bullish divergence? Well, this is a chart indicator that happens when we see the price putting in a lower low. So we had our first low back here on the 19th of May. We had our lower low here on the 22nd of June. Meanwhile, we have the RSI, which went from an oversold reading on the daily charts. Of course, that was back on the 19th of May. Ever since that time, the price has been going downwards approximately, but the RSI has been climbing. Now, the really important thing that we want to take a look at here is that the RSI has gone from this oversold reading to go on to make a higher low. So this is the classic situation. We have the lower lows for the price and the higher lows for the RSI. That is a classic bullish divergence for Bitcoin on the RSI. Now this shows that the market is starting to build up strength again. So this indicator could indicate that we are getting ready to see that price recovery coming in for Bitcoin. Obviously, we don't want to then go on to invalidate this. If we see the RSI dropping down significantly, for example, that could change our perspective on things here. But right now, we are getting a pretty strong signal that we do have this bullish divergence building up for Bitcoin. So I like to see that. That's a good indicator to be coming up. Obviously, the thing that's really going to want to make us flip back into bull mode here is seeing the 50-day moving average reclaimed, which is right here around $37,500 at the moment. That short term would help us put more emphasis on this bullish reversal that the RSI bullish divergence could be indicating that we're coming up upon. So we really want to see that key moving average retake, and obviously the 200-day moving average is really the bull bear line. But we're talking about working towards recovery, not, the bulls being back in charge of the market immediately. That will be when we cross over the 200-day moving average. Right now, let's look at getting the 50-day moving average back. This bullish divergence that we're seeing here could be an early indicator that that is what we could be seeing happening over the coming days and weeks. By the way, if you want to buy yourself some Bitcoin, some Ethereum, some Polygon, some Dogecoin, whatever you want to get yourself some hands on, you need an account over on BINANCE. It is the best cryptocurrency exchange. You can use more than 50 different fiat currencies to buy cryptocurrencies over here on Binance. And if you use the link down below in the description to start your account, you're also going to get 10% off on your trading fees and up to $700 in trading bonuses when trading futures over on Binance. Now let's talk about the second indicator that you have to have on your radar right now. It's one we've been talking about a lot. It is the Wyckoff accumulation pattern. Now if, as we have seen, the whales are indeed moving in these Wyckoff patterns, which the distribution pattern at the top of the market here. Let's just get the RSI off here, clean it up a little bit so we can have a more clear view on things. This was a pretty clear Wyckoff distribution pattern. What we are likely looking at right now is the Wyckoff accumulation pattern coming in. So as you can see here, we had our initial sell-off. We had our second test here, right? So initial sell-off, our secondary test. This is likely our spring that we've just seen come in here, our spring here. So we could potentially be in phase C, getting ready to move into phase D. So after the spring comes a test. So what do we see here? After the spring, we had a test downwards, actually retesting the initial sell-off, so the support from that. After this test, what happens then? Well, we have another test of support. So we come down and we could be seeing the price coming back down, for example, into this range, into the lower 30,000s, or maybe not even quite that far down. Maybe we get down to 33,000 or something like that over the weekend coming up, right? Weekends tend to be pretty rough times for the markets overall. So long as we don't see the price come back down under $30,000, then this pattern is still going to be in play. Now, what happens after that secondary testing moment here? Well, the price starts to move back upwards, right? So what we really need to see, and I would say the coming week or two for Bitcoin, is this sign of strength. We need to see Bitcoin having a very definitive breakout moment. Now, that would mean that we need to see Bitcoin basically closing a daily candle above $40,700. You can see right here, we've had multiple occasions here and here and here where Bitcoin has failed to reclaim that level. That is a very, very important area of resistance right now for Bitcoin. So we need to see it reclaiming above that level. That would be, in my mind, that sign of strength. Then, of course, we would consolidate a bit there, form up a nice bit of a bull flag potentially, and then blast up higher. So that's what we're watching for right now. Up until this point, the Wyckoff accumulation pattern has been playing out. A lot of market participants are watching it. A lot of people are believing that it's not going to happen. It's too transparent. The whales are going to fake us out. Maybe the whales are going to fake us out. But up until this point, it has been playing out rather textbook. So let's keep our eyes on this pattern moving forward and see if it does continue to play out in such a textbook way. Next, let's talk about the Puell multiple. Now, this is an indicator that tends to indicate a good buying opportunity for Bitcoin. Now, usually this is used as a situation of indicating market lows and then of market tops. So we can see that every market top has been indicated by a blast up into the pink zone here, 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 and here. So we can see that happening. I'll just get myself off the screen here real quick so you guys can see all of the details of this here. Now, what we also see is that when we get down into the green zone, this tends to be a great time to buy. Rarely do we spend much time down here, and that usually this indicates a market reversal zone. Now, we've been down here a few times before, really just on a few big occasions. You can see there's been multiple small dips underneath it though. Dip here, dip here, dip here, 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 and here. And now, of course, we're into one here as well. Now, usually, you have to keep in mind that quite often when we do see this, it actually indicates that we could see a further sell-off happening. So we can see here that when we first entered into the green zone back in 2011, massive sell-off followed. In 2012, we saw just a little touch there, great buying opportunity, market blasted higher. Now, if you zoom into 2015, depths of the bear market, the first entry indicated that it was just the start of what was to be a much more brutal sell-off, with the price going down much, much farther by the time we reached the bottom here, basically coming down to the bottom of the green band here. That, of course, is epic buying opportunity. Later on, we can zoom into 2018. This is the end of 2018. So we entered in here, and that was actually around $6,000 per Bitcoin. Within a few days of hitting into the green box, the price had actually sold off by another 50%, with the price of Bitcoin going down to around $3,000. Now, what's interesting is that we saw this situation here. Let's just zoom in a little bit here. So we saw back here at the start of 2020 with the COVID sell-off, something that in my mind looks fairly similar to what we're seeing right now. This is a short, temporary sell-off driven by external events in the market. We did then see it collapsing a bit just after the Bitcoin halving as well, because this particular indicator also takes into account hash rate and distribution and things like this, which is part of the reason why we're seeing it dip down now, because of all the drama going on with China and the miners moving out and looking for new locations and all the hash rate up and down that we've seen going on over the last few days. But regardless of all that, well, maybe not regardless of all that, but considering all of that, when we get down into this green box, it tends to represent a very good buying opportunity. It doesn't mean that it is definitively the bottom of a market. It could represent a bottom. We've seen that happening here, for example, where we first entered into the market, into this box at the height of the sell-off, so that was the best time to buy there. Or we could, of course, see it dropping a little bit farther and the prices going down a little bit more, sometimes dramatically. But I think we're more in the situation where we're going to see this actually being a good opportunity to buy, and that we will see the markets recovering. Obviously, we're looking at this as a bullish signal right now, but just do be aware that the entry into this zone is non-definitive in terms of saying that this is definitely a market bottom. It just represents that's usually a pretty damn good time to buy. We can already see actually that we have come back up out of the slump of this. So that was potentially an indicator screaming, now's a good time to buy some Bitcoin. And the final thing I want to talk about is actually from Ben Cohen. He is an analyst, does some great work breaking down the charts. He says, we said for months that Bitcoin's current market cycle ROI was ahead of where it should be. We can have a few bearish months without the cycle being over. As time goes on, it'll only get more bullish. Some bearish months are needed in a long cycle for us to gear up for another move. So you can see here the yellow chart lines, that is the 2017 bull run. The orange line, that is 2013. The blue line is Bitcoin's first bull run back in the day when he was just a little guy. And the purple line, the one of most interest to us right now, that is the current bull market cycle for Bitcoin. Now we are seeing the cycles pumping less, but we're also seeing them pumping for much longer than previous cycles. So each cycle is getting longer, even though the total amount pumped is getting a bit lower. Now it's not, if you look at the charts, it's unlikely to have pumped this low. What's really important here is that if you buy into the lengthening cycle theory, which I am a proponent of the lengthening cycle theory, you can see, again, purple line shorter than yellow lines, quite simple to understand. The current bull market has lasted for significantly less time than the 2017 bull market, which means it is highly unlikely that this bull market cycle has finished. What's more likely to happen is that the market is going to recover. We're going to see it continuing higher. Maybe there will be a couple of months of bearish price action where we just struggle to retake these key moving averages, et cetera, and that by the end of the year, maybe we get up to a 12 or 1300 day since the bottom final moment, and we end up somewhere over here, for example. So that gives us, a Bitcoin up around, let's say, $200,000, and that we have another 6 months, 8 months of a market cycle to go, maybe even longer. So that's something for you to consider, is that if we are looking at this lengthening cycle model, then this bull market is far from over. The ROI has not got up to be in line necessarily with previous bull runs, nor has the total cycle of this bull run likely played out yet. So just some bullish hopium there for you. And just before we finish today's video, I just want to share one quick news story with you, because this also factors into everything. Now, the charts are fun. We like looking at the charts, but the fundamentals that are happening right now for Bitcoin are beyond incredible. So this is the newest announcement from NYDIG, the New York Digital Investment Group, NYDIG. They have made an announcement that they've got a new partnership. This is actually their fourth one this year. So this new partnership will reach 24 million consumers through digital banking platforms, and their partnership will offer turnkey access to Bitcoin from Main Street banks. Incredible stuff right here. So this opens up the door to potentially 650 different banks in the USA for NYDIG. The crazy thing is that this is actually the second major announcement for NYDIG in a week. It's wild. Just earlier this week, they announced a partnership with Q2, which could bring Bitcoin up to 18.3 million customers. Absolutely incredible stuff. I feel like somebody's got to, I don't know, make a cake or some cookies or at least a gold star for NYDIG because they have just been slaying it this year. It's absolutely incredible. They've had 4 major partnerships, which basically offer the majority of banks, if not nearly all banks at this point in the USA, to be able to sell Bitcoin to their customers. It's incredible. And these partnerships with these 4 different organizations that are working with basically every single Main Street bank in the USA, they're going to start having an effect. And a lot of this is recent. I mean, we started covering these NYDIG stories probably about 4 to 6 weeks ago, maybe even 2 months ago was the first big one that came out. So within about a 2-month time span, NYDIG has nailed down 4 partnerships with some of the biggest banking infrastructure players in the United States that makes it that any bank in America can sell Bitcoin to their customers. The USA is one of the biggest markets in the world for Bitcoin. The ability of regular people to be able to go down to their local corner bank and start buying Bitcoin, you don't understand how big that is. The fundamentals that are happening right now for Bitcoin, unreal. Charts are sweet. Fundamentals trump the charts long term. I like the charts. The charts give me a bit of extra hopium in my life. But this fundamental stuff that's going on, wow. Just wow. This is some really, really big stuff. So I just want you to understand that while the market's in this kind of short bear trend and you have a lot of people freaking out, look at the big picture of what's actually going on because it's incredible. The level of adoption that we've had in the first half of 2021 is more adoption than the cryptocurrency markets have ever had in their entire history, basically combined. And it's just the first half of the year. What's the rest of 2021 going to have in store, let alone the rest of the decade, man? Holy cow. Anyway, your question for today. What do you think of my hopium charts that I shared with you? Do you think that we are indeed building up for this bullish moment for Bitcoin, or do all these charts mean nothing and we're going to drop by 50%? Let me know down below in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and peace out till next time.